Are you going to be co-hosting this with me, or I think you were one of the top scoring?
I'm interested on seeing how this works, anyways. So I
Hmm.
joined when you send the invitation.
Yeah,
I joined. So we're still planning what, how we're gonna do it.
great. Well, start off with a little introduction. Hello, everyone that's probably watching. My name is Sigifredo Perez, graduate student at Cal State Dominguez Hills, and I'm officially done with my program. However, I am finishing up the classes that I'm taking just for extra benefit of my own, not that I need them to graduate. And how about you guys?
Well, my name is Franciola Armstrong, undergrad. I will be graduating this May.
Yay.
Um, it's been a long journey, and I'm just trying to get through it. And believe it or not, I thought this internet literacy class would be like really easy for me, and it's been challenging.
Yeah, it's been challenging and useful.
Uh, well, I actually agree with both of you, and I'm also planning on graduating in May, as you, Franciola, and mm, it seems like we also did the same thing, about the class, and we got a little surprise as well.
Right,
Yeah. I was not expecting to be this way, so we might be learning more than we expected, right?
Yeah.
right.
So, is there any particular topic or anything about the class that you're struggling with, Franciola?
Well, in the very beginning, I didn't really understand. Okay, it was week by week, the assignments. Those are what we were supposed to turn in, but I was actually going into the topics and I was reading the PowerPoints and doing those assignments underneath. And sometimes I would turn my homework in and he would be like, "What is this?" And I'm like, I wasn't really understanding how to do the homework. And then I kept reading over, and then I was like, okay, I finally got it. So now I'm going back to do the assignments that I missed to get half the credit. So it's like we're almost done, and I'm just now getting how the homework assignments were supposed to be turned in.
Right. Um, I'm trying to see if I could share my screen for a little bit. Screen share. There we go.
And when he does the quizzes, it's the week before assignment, or is it what he's discussing in the actual class at that time? Because I'm still like, huh? I don't know. It's like he throws me off topic sometimes. Like when we were there last Wednesday,
Right.
we were doing all those assignments, and I'm like, did we already get the scores for our test? And, at the very end, he was like, oh yeah, I forgot, and then he gave us these pieces of paper. So I'm like, my score that I got, it was low, but compared to, I mean, everybody who really does good in the class were like, they scored kind of low too, right?
It was definitely a challenging exam. I wasn't expecting all that, but I remembered, and a good study habit for myself is a few hours before class,
hmm
and throughout the week, if I'll review whatever we didn't review in class, just to kind of catch up, and then the week of, I'll review the PowerPoints before class,
hmm
and as well as the discussion presentation that he has on the website. And 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have at least one or two questions from that discussion blog. So I mean, it's more or less just getting to know exactly how the class operates, and I think that's
I'm sorry.
probably your problem.
I
Uh,
can't retain it. It's like I'll read through the PowerPoints and I'm like, okay, I think I got it. And then I'll get to the end with his study guide and I'm like, Jesus Christ, what did I miss?
right. I'm gonna try to share my screen with you, and just to kind of, can you see my screen at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
All right. Um, So going to the class website, when I start reviewing, I usually do it at least a day before or the day of, like in the morning, just so I have enough time to, go through it all. So the
Right.
topic module is where you're going to find all your lecturers, and I think it's fairly easy to understand. And just in case you're wondering, I think I've explained this before. The quizzes are based on the prior week's material.
Right.
Sometimes he doesn't get through all the lectures that he has posted for the week, and usually those are the ones that I review first, because all the other information we've covered, but I want to make sure that I get to the stuff that we didn't cover, just in case, some of it may be on the quiz. I
Right.
think I think we learned that with the first quiz because there was a few videos that we didn't get to watch through the presentations, but there were questions. So he gives us these questions, and he assumes that we're going in reviewing these presentations and reviewing the content within them. The video files attached are embedded.
Mhm.
Uh, so for next week we shouldn't have a quiz, but the following week, we can expect a quiz based on the topics within week 9.
Okay,
And
they give us a quiz on last Wednesday, so
we haven't covered any new material, but I think we did cover some new stuff, but we didn't go into detail. I guess he was under the assumption that we were going to take the time to review it on our own, and I think some of that material was on the midterm, so I think it's covered.
okay.
Yeah, I think he mentioned that there wasn't going to be any quizzes, but it never hurts to prepare yourself by reviewing that week's material.
Absolutely.
And
And
there's only like what 6 weeks left, I believe, right?
something like that.
Yeah, not many. Uh, so yeah, I've been kind of like struggling a little bit with those quizzes, uh, and it's because it's still a lot of concepts to review and
Yeah,
terminology and stuff like that. So it's a little difficult to cover everything, but it definitely helps to check what covered the last class, of course. That's
Mhm.
what we base, our quiz on.
right. And do you guys have any issues with the assignments and how they work? I think most of us kind of overlook the instructions. We tend to breeze through them and just see what needs to be done, but forget the little details, print, screen, and stuff like that.
That would be me because I think I overthink it because he was like type it up first.
Yes.
He always says write it out, read it over, and then type it or post it. So when he says type it up, that's what I printed out. I didn't put out what I actually put on, on the comment or the post. I actually printed out what I typed up.
Right. So that's my recommendation here with the assignments is really just read the instructions more than once, and before printing, just go back and make sure you didn't miss anything. I know sometimes I forget to do something. I print it out and I'm on my way to school, and then I realize that I missed something, and I'm rushing to the
Right.
library to fix it. But it happens. But it's always good to have that in the back of your mind. And anything specific related to the content that may be difficult for you to understand? Are you good with the client and server? I think we got that down the other day.
Yeah.
That's pretty important. I think the remaining or anything that we're covering in the future as far as applications that are web-based are pretty much grounded on those principles, client and server. So if you remember initially what those terms and relationships are, we should be fine.
Hmm.
Uh, one thing that it kind of took me by surprise during the midterm was the measures of data. I'm not sure if you guys remember those.
Sig, it seems like Tyler just joined the conversation here.
Hey, Jose.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
Good. How you guys doing?
Good. Do you have anything that you need clarification on? We were just discussing the structure of the class, and a lot of us tend to get confused on the course's requirements or overlook instructions whenever completing assignments.
Yeah. I didn't really have anything like specific. I was hoping, I don't know, I would kind of just listen into whatever you guys were going along with, see if there was maybe some specific questions that I had at that point. Maybe, chime in if I had something. But I mean, honestly, yeah, I think it's just more, it's just paying attention to detail in a lot of these assignments.
Yeah, that's a good point. Did you find any particular area that you kind of felt you were struggling during the
Uh,
midterm?
Yeah. No, I was actually just listening to what you're saying about the measurements on the bytes. I didn't think there was going to be so many calculations on that. I know we went over in class, but I didn't take that part as seriously as I should have.
Yeah, I was the same way. I think I somewhat remembered exactly like which one was bigger, like bytes or bits, and just memorizing and like the unit descriptions, like which one's thousands, which one's millions. So
Right.
that definitely helped. Uh, you remember what week that was?
I'm just looking at that.
IP data quantity.
Warm up here.
Mm-mm. Mine.
Oh wow.
Seriously?
What class? Okay, class. I was watching how to build AT&T Stadium. Is it too hot?
Mm.
I think there's a lag there. Oh, wait. There we go. This
Right
definitely
there.
helped me kind of remembering what the prefixes were and their values kind of in the thousands. The kilo was thousand, mega, million, and that kind of helped me think which one's bigger than the other. I think there was a lot of those questions. So it wasn't necessarily how knowing specifically like the value. I think it's just knowing like these decimal names for each prefix. That definitely helped.
Mhm.
How's everybody's blog coming?
I haven't even started that to be honest. I haven't even started with the blog. Has anybody
Still,
gotten into it?
still enjoying spring break.
Anybody do
Uh,
anything?
it's probably gonna work on it this week.
I had two accounts and I had to delete one of them. And the one that I deleted had the blog in it. So how do I get that information and paste it into this account?
Did you save
That's
it?
a good question. I actually, I also have that kind of problem. I had to add another account, and because with the Toro Mail, some things you cannot do. So I added my regular account, and I got into the same problem. So do you know how to deal with that, Siggy?
Google automatically deletes your content. So
Yeah, my data was lost.
pictures. I just copied it to to the desktop. If I had any text, like for example, all the assignments that we submitted so far, I copied it to a Word document.
So you pass it over to the other account, right?
Yeah, so I kind of like I kept it in a file and transfer.
Hey
And
Whatever's
guys,
okay.
hey, what's up?
I was able to make it, so I don't know if you guys can hear me. I had difficulties joining this thing today.
Mac.
Yeah, I'm on my Mac, so
Could you repeat what you said? You copy it. Do you just select copy and then just paste it into the new?
Uh,
I th I think that's Randy, right? Randy, you might want to mute your laptop or your phone. There we go.
so I really couldn't find any way to specifically like link it and just copy the information directly, like from page to page, without having to copy it to a Word document or saving the files. If I had any pictures that I wanted to save, I just downloaded them, kept them in a folder, and then uploaded the photos and the text, because I know a lot of us had, contributed assignments to the threads, asked a question for Sal and all these others. So I
Right.
just copied the information so it wouldn't go away, and I have it and just repost it.
And did you leave the two accounts there active, or did you
Uh,
actually get rid of the account that was not working?
I got rid of the account. I just couldn't figure out how to like de-link it, so I just went ahead and deleted it, and that's
That's
how.
the problem I had too, because I tried to find out, and how can you pick it up,
Yeah, I couldn't figure that out.
All right.
What is it that you guys are trying to do?
I
Well,
created a blog.
go ahead, Francila.
I created I had two accounts and I created the blog in one of the accounts and I had to delete one. And the one that I deleted had the blog in there and I wanted to know how I could get that information and put it into the one that I'm using for our roster.
So you have two blogs then, right? It sounds like you have two blogs and
I
you
have one
deleted.
blog and I
Oh,
wanted to
you have.
go to this account.
So, so I believe you should be able to just copy the link and go into our roster, right? And drop the link in there.
Okay, how you do that?
Well,
You want to share your screen?
yeah.
Do you have an option to do that on your feed?
Let me see. It's chat screen share. I should, I think.
My
Yeah.
blog is in this account that I'm doing Hangouts on, but I'm linked to ToroMail on our database roster.
Yeah, because I used my own personal email account to create the blog, and then I just went over and I copied the link where that blog is created, and I used that. Oh, but right now, see,
That's what I want to know how to do.
Are you able to share your screen, or do you want me to do it?
um, I'm trying to because I'm logged in right now with
I'll just go ahead and
else.
do it, and you can walk me through it.
Okay, yeah.
So, can you guys see anything on my desktop?
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So, this is the main page, class roster. And you want to go to
Bless you.
Thank you.
click on your box. Like for example, I clicked on Franciolio,
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and
just click on edit.
where's the oh yeah, edit right there. Edit,
And then
and
where it
you
says blog URL,
Uh-huh. Oh, I can just copy and paste the link there.
yeah, you would just copy and paste the link there.
same thing with your other Google Plus account. You may have the old one here. Just update the link for the new one.
Yeah, and also for the link name, I don't know how if he's gonna pick that up or not, but on the assignment he has a specific name that he wants us to name the link,
Right.
and so you just put that right below that link that you're going to create.
Okay.
So if let's see if Siggy can go back to his screen. I think it doesn't go to his page because someone has birds chirping.
Oh, that's me. There's birds outside, man.
Okay, there we go. So if you click on that create blog,
Mm-hmm. Going white, simple template. Okay.
Do you see the instructions you're referring to?
yeah, you see right below that last paragraph.
Here? This one here?
Yeah. Highlight the link to your blog. It should say. You see how it says? It should say my blog.
Right.
So that's the name that we have to put in there.
Okay, I've done all of this. I just want to move it to the other account.
Mm. That I don't know how to do. You know what? You should be able to just copy the link. You may still have two.
I do.
Maybe
Uh,
can you share your screen and maybe we can walk you through it? I don't know if she can.
I'm not that computer literate. I'm like an idiot on the computer. I'm doing
No, no,
that
no.
this.
let me.
Oops. That look funny, huh?
Do you have any options on your screen, Francioli, on the left side? Like any? Do you see anything on the left side, like little buttons?
No, just everybody. I'm
Oh,
on
just.
my tablet.
I think it's only the person that's moderating.
Person.
Yeah.
Well, I have them. I don't know. Are you on a cell phone or are you on a laptop?
I'm on my tablet.
Oh, you're on your tablet. Okay. Um. Yeah, I don't know if tablets have those options or not.
The only thing I see is all of you and a little yellow button that says live.
Right. If you scroll like to the left, some buttons might appear because mine's hide. Whenever I don't have my cursor on there, they hide. But when you move your cursor to the left, they appear.
Okay, I see something.
Okay, so you have I think it's the second button. It says screen share.
222. The little star.
No, it should be like a green box with an arrow.
It might be different on the tablet, but it should say that. Does it allow you to hover over it? Share screen? Screen share?
I see a star, I see comments, I see the phone, send messages, viewer, I see all of your names.
Interesting.
Click on the star, see what that does.
It
No
might
fa
take her to Hollywood.
no favorites yet.
Oh, yeah, make sense, the star.
No.
Well, maybe when we get to class, we can probably help you out with that. But it shouldn't be a problem though.
I'll just try and play around with it. So I'll go into edit and I'll see if I could try to do what you were just showing me when you were on the class roster. When you went into edit, maybe I can copy and paste that link and do the right account.
Yeah, I mean, that's temporary fix. So we could figure out how to migrate your files from one block to the next.
hmm
Any
Anybody?
other, yeah, any other questions?
Now,
How many classes does everybody have left?
Irvin,
Yes, sir.
it looks like Tipora has a question, but she doesn't have a microphone. I don't know if you can read that on the right side. She says she has some questions, but she's only typing, because she doesn't have a microphone. So I don't know if you can actually communicate with her somehow.
Yeah, you could just type in a question, right?
Oh, it looks like she's writing. I didn't even know you can do that.
Yeah, you can do that, and then she doesn't have a microphone, so I guess you guys talk and she makes a question, on writing.
Okay, she's writing right now and she's sending me some messages. So let's see. Remember those buttons on the left side, Irving? I'm gonna say yes. I don't know. Everyone should be able to look at that, right? Though that group chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Uh, and then she's listening, but she's not. She can hear, but she cannot talk, because she don't have a microphone. So if you guys explain, by talking, she's gonna be able to get it.
It is. I was looking at something else right now. Is she on like a tablet or a laptop or? I see you. Are you with all of the material that press the what is the easiest study method? And she's on her laptop. Okay. Easiest study method. Well, you can hear me, right? If you can, just shake your head. She said yes. Okay, so she can hear me. Um, so she's asking, with all the material that Press provides, what is the easiest study method? Um, for me, it's just going over the slides, just going into every slide. And usually, like even during class, I might take about like 10, 15 minutes. As you know, how he goes through them. Sometimes it takes him about an hour to go through the whole deck of slides that he has. And I just try to go through them as fast as possible, and then just go back to them. Like during the test, or what was it, the midterm that we just had. I went back and I actually looked at every single slide that he had available. And then I also went and I studied the quizzes that he posts all the quizzes online that we take for his class.
hmm
And that's when I was trying to, I don't know if everyone saw this, but I tried creating a study guide and just answering all those questions from the study guide. And really, the study guide, all it was all the quiz questions that he's been posting on our blogs, and
Right.
just going in there and answering them and just studying them. But the best way to study is just reviewing all the slides, and whatever you don't understand, just ask questions, you know. And it's funny because I tell like a lot of my friends from school is like never be afraid to ask questions, you know, especially in class, you know. And as you guys can see, I'm sometimes in there like when I don't understand something, I'll ask, or I'll try to have him like re-explain something. And I think the whole class should do that. When you don't truly understand something, that's the best thing to do. And it's not easy. I can tell you guys it's not easy, especially if like right now me, my major is business administration with information system, and the previous class that I took, a lot of like this class right now, it's, a lot of the information is the same from last semester. So it's like a no-brainer for me. But for other individuals that are trying to learn this, it's like just go over the slides, and if I don't know if you guys ever really paid attention, but every single slide, there's a notes section at the bottom.
Right.
And in that notes section, there's more information that he provides in there. And I actually go through all that information and read all of that. So I don't know if that's another thing that might help you guys out too, is just reading those notes that he has in there. And again, I mean, just ask questions. And if you guys also, you know, if you guys are afraid to ask, or not afraid, but like embarrassed, you know, to ask questions directly to Dr. Press, you know, you guys can always reach me, or I'm pretty sure Siggy. I've even reached out to Siggy at times, you know, whenever I need help with anything, and he's a great person. He helps out too, you know. So, but yeah.
Guys, I'm always asking you questions, and I'm always asking Sig.
So she's
I agree with you, Sipor. I can see that she wrote, you know, kind of like the same thing I had in mind. I mean, it's a lot of information to cover, and that's probably the main problem a lot of us have. But what you're saying, Irvin, is it's something good to do. Go through the PowerPoint presentation. Go through the PowerPoint presentations and kind of like review the double check the quizzes, right? Yeah, and also Siggy was talking about what is kind of his routine to get ready for the class too. So, but it's a lot of a lot of information. I agree with what before I said just Friday now. It is kind of a little difficult, and I believe this kind of like way of helping each other here now should help a little bit. Sometimes it's refreshing, you know.
yeah, I think it helps out a lot, you know. I mean, if we do like these type of hangouts, you know, maybe I don't know for like the final or another, you know, section that we go over that someone really doesn't understand, but you know, any of us understand them, then we can do something like this and help each other out and learn it. But I agree, it's a lot of information that he gives out for this class, you know. To tell you guys the truth, when I signed up for this class, I truly thought that it was like, okay, this is how you surf the internet, and you know, it was gonna be
Exactly.
Simple.
you know. And then we come into this class, and I'm like, oh my god, like all of this information, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I mean, the good thing is, like he said, you know, he grades on a curve, and it's
Yeah.
And when you miss your
I'm kind of
homework,
surprised, you know, to find out that I'm not the only one that went through the same kind of experience, you know, with the class. First, I thought, you know, well, I'm the maybe, you know, one of the few that are in that situation. But it seems like most of us actually kind of thought the same thing about the class, because it's a 200 series, you know, 275. So I was expecting very simple, basic terminology, and you know, just some concepts and stuff, and to be just a piece of cake. But it's a lot of information that is being covered. Uh, so
I I agree.
the name, all of that, but found out that I am so computer illiterate because I don't even know how to form the questions that I want to ask sometimes. It's like I want to ask a question. I don't even know how to put it in the right words so he can explain it to me.
Right.
And see, I think the problem there is that because I've seen how also like there's other classmates that try to ask questions, and it's like I don't know. I guess he expects a lot of us to know the majority of this stuff, but like there is a lot of people out there that aren't computer literate and really don't know what's behind a website or what's in in a regular CPU. And I guess Dr. Press um, expects us to. And again, me, that's my whole background, and I know a lot of this stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of individuals out there that don't, and this can be difficult for them. And I get it. That's why whenever he asks, like if anyone's willing to help, because this is where I'm coming from, this is my background, I'm always available, to help. And because I know there's gonna be times when I need help, and maybe it's something that one of you guys know what he's talking about, and that's why I'm always there. But don't be afraid to ask questions, guys. Just ask questions in class, and I mean, it's not like he can't. It's not like he's gonna say no. I'm not gonna explain it to you.
He doesn't. He just said collaborate. Talk to your neighbor. Ask your neighbor.
Yeah, and I've noticed that. I've actually noticed that, like when he asks questions and no one says anything, and he just goes, "Well, talk to your neighbor. Make sure you guys understand it." And what if like you and your neighbor don't know what it is? Then what?
Yeah, because I'm always asking Sig, and I know he's like, you again, and then Maria's next to me, so it's us again.
Yeah.
Well,
But
one of the things I can see is that he's kind of like giving us the opportunity to do this kind of use this kind of tool, so we can communicate each other. He's pushing very much a lot of, he's pushing a lot for us to do this. That's what he wants. I guess, he wants us to communicate, to collaborate each other, and then kind of like get more involved, into the what is it, the class and the structure and all what he's trying to teach there. But I guess this is a good experience. I believe this is a good experience. We kind of like are getting confident on how to use the tool, how to communicate each other and stuff. And maybe for the next time, if there's one, if we kind of like write at least like maybe like 5 questions or stuff like that about the main things that we want to cover, that might help, so we can share more stuff, more about the class itself. And but it has been really good. I believe this is helping on creating confidence and getting it to make it work.
I think to go back to your comments, Zipporah, it's really easy stuff. It's so basic, but it's only hard because he's trying to get us to understand the concepts behind it.
Right.
The components of the computer and what they do. I mean, we all know how to use an application, but he's trying to get us to understand the logic and what goes behind the scenes. And talking to your neighbors. I mean, if you're a somebody that's web designer, developer on the internet, you may not have the resources there to ask the question, so you may post your questions on a blog, consulting with other people. So I think it's more or less that not that he doesn't want to help us, he's just trying to kind of reproduce this environment, this web environment, or it's I think it's more of a social factor there. I mean, even in the at work, I work with a bunch of people from different backgrounds, and I don't I use all my resources before I go to my boss to ask for clarifications or instructions.
Mhm.
And 9 times out of 10, the boss is going to ask you, did you consult with so and so? Because they're busy individuals. So I think it's just a good habit to build. I know I always consult with my coworkers if I have a question on some type of policy or how to complete a specific task. So it's always good before you go up to the boss. Going up to the boss to ask questions may, depending on the individual, may suggest your level of competence. It's impressions, but it's an idea. That's how I see it.
Sapporo's shaking her head. It looks like it's a yes.
Yeah, it's tough out there.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, actually, today I was working on a project with one of my bosses, and we manage federal property, and basically we are looking at ways how we can improve our customer service. And one of the ideas that we had is how do we uh, present locations if we're trying to get people to move into buildings. How do we persuade them? And a lot of people say that this location's not ideal, but it's not ideal for them because they don't know what's close by.
Mhm.
So through actually Google, I used Google Maps. I created a map where I kind of pinged different locations that we had in our inventory, and I was able to plug in specific information using Excel, and it impressed the boss. So just like knowing little things, little tricks on Google, because we
Right.
use like our web service at work's provided by Google. So learning all this stuff is actually pretty beneficial for myself, and it impresses your boss. Knowing how to do something in Google Maps or Sheets, because Sheets is pretty amazing. We use Sheets to do many different things that I don't even know how to do. But it's always amazing to see what people do. Like whenever like our headquarters shares, a spreadsheet on some of our accounts, and like the way they present information and graphics is just it's amazing. But I think this class is a big introduction to that, and there's plenty of manuals for us to learn that stuff, video tutorials. I know
Right.
I always use video tutorials. Like for example, I did a study for my thesis, and it's been over a year since I took statistics, and I don't know about the undergrad level, but in the graduate level, you're expected to know how to use the application SPSS.
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, but it's a pretty complex application, and you got to buy manuals. It's kind of like Adobe, you know, Adobe or AutoCAD. People that know how to use it are people that use it on the regular, experts and stuff like that. So yeah, I use tutorials to figure out how to do a regression analysis. So it's just using the web to your advantage, and there's always people that post videos on how to's for anything. I don't know what the motivation is to create videos, but it's I guess it's good. People do that because I benefit from them.
Well, I wish where I work they didn't have dinosaurs. I can't even use the knowledge that I have until they upgrade their systems.
That's actually another. Oh, you're talking about systems, or
Talking about my work, they're so behind on the times. We still have electric typewriters.
Oh my god.
I was gonna say that that's kind of something that our class kind of brushes on or addresses. Like there is like implications on society. For example, some businesses or people may not be able to afford specific types of equipment, so it kind of limits their knowledge or competence on specific system software.
Right.
And the same is true across generations. Younger generations, like in my generation, are millennials. We're expected to be pretty tech savvy, whereas the Generation X and baby boomers are, they were growing up as this stuff was developing, so it's harder for them to learn some of this stuff. I guess from a sociological perspective. I got 10 more minutes, guys.
Is Randy still on the line? Does he
uh,
have any questions?
he's on mute still.
I don't think he has his mic or his video on.
Irvin, what does your schedule look like for spring break? Like, can I bug you?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course. I was out in Vegas, so I just got back Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. So I've been home. I've been trying to finalize like essays that I have due like towards the end of the semester. But yeah, anytime, you can either email me or send me a message through through Google Plus. Yeah, I'm here to help whenever I can.
For the final, I would suggest, if the people within this group and maybe others, if they're interested, like really participate in the study guide process that we had going on last time. Yeah, Irvin got it together, and only two of us contributed. So if we really want to make it beneficial, we have to put the time, and put something on the paper, fill up all the questions, so that we have something to work off, and then maybe we could host another session like this to kind of review and discuss, and have dialogue about the answers that people provided to see if they are correct. I know when I was going through those responses, I found a couple that were incorrect, and I don't know off the top of my head, but it just doesn't look right. So it made me want to go find that lecture and see if the information's accurate. So I found a couple that were inaccurate, and fixed them.
Yeah, I agree, and also I was reading on the what's it called? Oh my God, the syllabus that for the final it's cumulative, right? So it's gonna go back all the way from week 1 to everything we learned towards the end. And I see Sephora's thumbs down. So yeah, I don't understand why he's doing that, but yeah, I saw the syllabus and that's what it states. So it looks like it's cumulative. So we're gonna go back all the way to week 1 or week 2, and then it's gonna be everything we learned all the way towards the final. So that current study guide that we have, it's actually gonna be helpful.
Yeah, because it's
And did anyone stay after the midterm? And because I don't see
nobody stayed, so I was like the last one, so I just left.
Oh, you left. Okay.
It wasn't going to be beneficial if I was going to be there by myself doing the midterm. I mean, for myself it would have, but having
Yeah,
that
I,
one.
yeah, I think I don't know if there's a way to get those questions from the midterm from him, because those would be beneficial to study, because most likely some of those are going to be on there, and I mean, I think it would be helpful to study them.
We should ask him. We can get the question without the answers, just the question.
All right. Zipporah's got a question or more a comment. She's just kind of she's saying that she's more of a kinesthetic learner, and what do we recommend for her to retain information? I'll share my strategy, Zipporah. Uh, I treat it as a kind of like a most of my classes are reading intensive. So every week you have assigned reading, and if you put it off, trying to review it before a an exam is going to be very difficult. So if you review the material at least once a week for that week, when you go back to do a review, it's going to be easier. But to touch on the kinesthetic stuff, a lot of the slides have concepts that you're expected to know, and kind of like the Google app thing. He'll have like exercises. So like I think some of his questions were like, which one was a comment? I guess it's just getting to know how to like getting to use the actual software, learning, and just becoming familiar with it, and that also helps understand some of the concepts that he's testing on. So I definitely recommend that you, if we have like for example the blog, uh, just play with it. I mean, when I learned how to do the map thing today, I didn't know Google could do that, but I was messing around with it, got curious, and I learned something new. And don't know if that helps. But yeah, the assignments are very easy. It's just strategizing how to pass this class, study habits. That's the challenging part of it, I guess, more or less because it's not your traditional class. You don't have a textbook. You just have a blog, an ongoing blog of material. So it's a different environment, and all of my classes from my graduate program were online, and it was challenging. But I guess once you become familiarized with it, understand the expectations, the layout of it, how things work, you find your way. I think that's what we sort of all learned after this midterm is how this class works and how to get through it. I took a screenshot of everybody that came, so I'll just submit a paper with everybody's name on it, attendees and the host. So we all get credit for either attending or participating. And I think it was, what, 2.5 or 3 for participants?
Two.
2?
Two.
Well, that's better than nothing. I mean, some of his quizzes,
Hey, trust me, I want everything.
yeah, especially after that midterm, and just looking at the distribution of how students performed, I had a couple in the 20s. So I mean, we need everything, everything we can get.
Got a 40.
Definitely. Yeah.
Wow.
Who got the 66 or something like that?
I did.
Oh, I knew it was Siggy. Come on, man.
How many questions were there?
No, I got 65, and so I was like, so this is 65 out of what? I was like 65 out of 100. I got a D, you know?
It was 70 questions, right?
I didn't even pay
No,
attention to
no,
that.
no, they were
No,
like 90, right?
it was
I
50, wasn't it?
But there were the paper that you wrote on your answers. I think it was 10 on each side, so that made it 70, I believe.
Hmm.
Because we did write, short answers and stuff on the first sheet. So I think there was 10 on each side,
And then the Scantron.
and then the
So
Scantron.
66 was the top score, right? See?
Yeah.
The fill in the blank was actually kind of easy. It wasn't until I ran into like the data questions, like what size is this, what size is bigger. For those questions, you really just have to know the difference between the measure.
That it was the other way around to me, uh, with the measures and the data and all that stuff, the comparisons. I did really well. That was very easy to me. But the fill in the blank, I kind of like get a little confused. I got a little confused,
Right.
So I probably didn't do a couple of those.
See, and actually, let me tell you guys a secret to this. I don't know if you guys ever really noticed, but whenever you have fill in the blank questions,
Mm-hmm.
the answers are actually majority of the time are provided in other questions later in the test. So on a lot of these questions from this midterm, I was like, I don't know the answers. So I would skip them down, and then I would get to another question where it actually gave you the answer and would asking you to put the answer for a question that was like question number 1 or number 2. So there, it was like, okay, so here I'm gonna answer question 1 and question 25, and each question is providing that information.
Right.
So that's kind of like that helped out a lot because like there were like where you had to provide like 4 names or something like that, and I only knew like 2, and I'm like, well, I'm just gonna put the 2, and then I went on to other questions, and I'm like, all the 4 names are here, so I can go back now and put all the correct answers on there. So that's actually one of the strategies I always use too. Is like whenever I get either stuck on something or that I don't know, I just keep going to other questions and see if I can find the answer there, and just go back and answer it.
All right.
Yeah, I tried that strategy, for the midterm, but it didn't work out well to me. Yeah, but it's a good strategy. As you say, you check the other questions, and sometimes the definitions are there, right?
Yeah, that's what I saw, and I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
that's a good
okay.
way. That's a good thing to do. Yeah.
I would say don't bank on it though. Study.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you still need
Yeah,
to study.
yeah.
Study
You
and
still need to
And
study.
let's do the study guides. That was helpful.
yeah. So, for the next test, the final, we should definitely do this. I think we have a pretty solid group here, people that are interested. Uh, we could, fill in the questions to some of the quizzes that we've had, and then, discuss them. Sometimes it helps people learn in conversation rather than reading off the paper.
I agree.
Refreshing. Yeah.
Well, guys, I have 8 o'clock. If anybody else has anything else to add, we could probably.
Just 1 more minute left, man.
Oh,
Just kidding. Oh,
well,
it was good. Thank you very much, guys.
all right. Good talking, guys. See you guys next Wednesday.
All right, guys. See you guys.
Excellent. Take care.
Bye.
You too.
How do I leave?
Waiting to let this minute run.
Let's see. I don't even know how to hang up. I told you I'm a genius. What do I do?
At the top, there should be like a red phone, and just click on that.
Man.
Red phone symbol. Okay. Oh, I was gonna say, hey, you got it. No.
I see the green phone symbol.
Oh yeah, just press on that. I mean,
Okay, pressing. He just hang me up, sick.
All right, I'll end it now. Hopefully it's an hour, and we all stuck here for it. So hopefully we get credit.
all right.
All right.
All right, guys.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Now there.